Oh man, what's good? What's good?
So,
Hey, today we got a special guest, man. I got my son, my youngest son, my namesake, Abdul. We call him Deuce, and he just celebrated his 14th birthday, y'all. Uh, how you feeling, man?
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yes, sir.
How I feel, man. Just let these lights and these cameras let them just dissolve. Um, and let's just do what we usually do when we're around the house. Let's just have our conversations and our like we usually do, and allow the God to show up and do His thing.
Yes, sir.
And we're just empty vessels willing to be used, and just try to find a way to contribute to society in the area of spirituality. Not that we know it all, but I think we have a pretty good grip on what God is trying to do for us and through us. So when we talk and share our experiences, that there may be a father and son out there, or a fatherless son, or a father, or someone who looks to be looking at becoming a father soon, who wants to understand a good father-son relationship and the barometer on how to parent and things of that nature. And for that 14-year-old out there who might be struggling with several life issues, I think this would be a good platform for him to learn something based on our experiences in the earth.
Yes, sir.
So let's use this time to be used and let God speak, bro. What do you think about that?
I completely agree.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, like, it's a lot to talk about, a lot to grow from, but I feel like our experiences can definitely help people
For sure, man.
since we see the world in a unique way
Yeah.
and, like, have a very unique perspective on the things that we do and the things that go on.
For sure. So you just celebrated a 14th birthday.
Yes, sir.
So you're 14 now. How does it feel? Anything big change or not really? Or
I'm just ready to take on what life has to bring for me when it comes to school, my job, stuff like that, stuff I gotta work on. Those
Motivated.
kind of things.
You're just motivated for the next chapter in your life.
Yeah, the motivation is the hard part.
Staying motivated or getting motivated?
It's getting in the mindset because recently I've been trying to work on myself a lot
Okay.
because I've been going through a lot, and along with going through a lot, I had to work on myself because I wasn't processing it the right way, and I would treat people wrong a lot of times.
Yeah.
I would act wrong a lot of times. It could get confusing.
Man, you jumping right in it. I love this. You don't
Yeah.
waste no time.
Nah.
So when you say the confusing part, you working on yourself. Can you explain what led you to this path of working on yourself? How did we get here? So I'm assuming you're referring to your experience in 8th grade, and or the years building up to 8th grade, now going into your freshman year in high school. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I would say I'm referring to like middle school and the start of it in general.
Okay.
Because I feel like as a person, when graduating from elementary school and going into middle school, ever since then it feels like I haven't even really been able to be myself all the way.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you say you don't feel like you were able to be yourself all the way, what do you mean by that? You mean in your natural personality,
Yeah.
that like what falls to the wayside?
Almost everything. Like it feels like there was too many requirements to meet, too many people depending on me, too much to go through to be myself. I didn't really feel comfortable being myself. So that definitely caused a lot to change about me. Felt like I had to adapt to the scenarios that I was in.
Okay.
So that way I could survive.
Wow. So let's peel this back. Now, of course, I'm aware of all of these things because we talk through all of this stuff, and we take the time, your mother and I, to peel back layers on what you're dealing with and how to cope with certain situations and try to adjust and matriculate through your experiences in school. But I'm going to act as if I'm walking you through it for the first time so that who's ever listening or viewing this can learn from this experience and seek and find whatever it is God wants to reveal to them, okay?
Yes, sir.
So when you say you feel like you said you lost yourself,
Yes.
why do you think you can't be yourself when you attend school? Like when you leave home, what pressure is applied, rather consciously or subconsciously, that makes you think you cannot be yourself?
It's
and,
the treatment.
and do you think a lot of 14-year-olds feel the same way?
I think it depends on who you are as a person, honestly. But for people like me, in the sense of like, you take the time to treat people right and care for others, it definitely got me the wrong treatment for sure. I got taken advantage of a lot. I was just treated wrong in general. I got made fun of, bullied, you could say. So eventually, I just got sick of it. So I adapted and acted the way the people that treated me did.
To fit in?
To avoid having to deal with that.
Daily?
Every single day.
So when you so it sounds like you're saying your natural way of being was compromised when you were placed into an environment where you engage with people who were not like you.
Absolutely.
So when you tried to just be you, be nice, be the happy-go-lucky kid, the light, how we try to teach you, you felt what, surrounded by darkness, and people didn't appreciate your kindness.
Exactly. I would like, they wouldn't even let me be kind.
Really?
I couldn't even be nice to people without being made fun of.
Now give me an example on what that might look like in today's world.
In today's world, like at this current time?
Yeah, what I want to do is like create a picture for people to see, rather it be a parent or another 14-year-old young man or young lady, to kind of see like, wow, yeah, that's happening to me too, or blah, blah, blah. So I want you to just paint a real picture on an example of you being kind to someone, and it's just like being completely disregarded or disrespected. Like, give us some examples.
Well, a perfect example is when...
Without calling anyone's name.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not going to call anyone's name, but like one time in 8th grade, like the administrator had came in to see if the teacher was teaching okay and stuff like that, and just wanted to watch over the class and see what was going on, observe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the teacher was asking questions and nobody was answering. And when I mean nobody, it was dead silent. So I was the only one answering questions because I felt bad, because like she put in a lot of work and the kids will always goof off and play around, and then when the time came to show what was up, they wouldn't do anything.
Right.
But I paid attention and made sure I was doing what I was supposed to.
Right. What you're there for.
Exactly.
Right.
So when I helped her out, she appreciated it. But afterwards, after the administrator left, everybody got on me. Like I was the problem.
So break it down. When you say you helped her out, what exactly did you do? And then when you say they got on you, I want you to be completely transparent on what that looks like, what this sounds like.
Okay.
We can be real here. You have my permission to just be authentic in this situation, because our goal is to help people. Okay. We're going to be used. We're not going to worry about how we look or how we're perceived by the public. We're going to allow God to use us irregardless of what people think.
Yes, sir.
So when you say you helped her out, what did that mean? How did that look?
She would ask questions about like, so if I do this and this, what would that get you? And then I would answer those questions. I would really make sure I'm giving intuitive answers and descriptive answers. I would buy into what she was teaching, and the administrator would nod her head, show that she understood that I was making progress and helping out.
Gotcha. So you mean when you say helping her out, you're saying help her be more proficient and effective at her job by showing her that some students are here to learn. What you're teaching, I am comprehending.
Exactly.
And let you know your job is not in vain. That's what you mean by helping her out. Just literally being a student.
Proving that she isn't doing all that she does for no reason. Yeah. That she isn't teaching just to preach.
So you literally, you're an empath. So I'm pretty sure you felt her emotional state in that moment, and she felt. Did you feel like she was felt a little hopeless in the moment?
She felt betrayed.
Wow. That's how you interpret
That's
that.
how I interpreted it for sure, because like I could see the disappointment in her face. So
when no one responded
at all, completely silent. So I wanted to make sure I could help her know that everything she doing, it affected at least one person.
Wow.
So
And so when she left the class, or her class was dismissed, go ahead. You said they got on you. I want you to be vivid, like
okay.
on what kids are dealing with.
People call me teacher's pet. People say I'm glazing, which is like a modern slang term, which means you're just like, you really are all about this person, or that you really are on their case in a positive way.
Got you.
So a lot of times, because what I do was so rare, I got made fun of for it. So they would always verbally attack me or disrespect me just for
Right.
doing the right thing.
Wow.
So eventually it caused me to just stop doing it.
Because it's like it was that many
It
students
was
doing it.
everybody.
Like the whole, it felt like the whole class.
Not
was
it felt like it was.
literally because you were a good student.
Because I was a good guy. See, there's a lot of good students. They're just not vocal. I was vocal about it. And for that, I got attacked.
So how does it make you feel when your peers, other students, verbally attack you for being a good student?
For a long time, it really hurt. Because I'm the type of person that cares about others more than I care about myself. And I was that way for a very long time.
Yeah.
So when I care for others a lot, and for them to hurt me when I did nothing wrong to them, it would really hurt. And it really changed my perspective. And I would never really let it change my perspective on people.
Right.
I will always just give them the benefit of the doubt, like they just don't understand or stuff like that. But over time, it helped me to understand. It's like some people just generally don't understand what you're doing. And you can't let that stop you.
But for a while, it made you suppress your personality, 100%. Made you suppress
completely
your contribution.
So much so to the point where I didn't know what it was anymore.
Really?
Correct.
So other people's perception of you made you diminish your characteristic traits so much that it began to confuse you on just who you were?
Yes.
That's heavy, bro. That's heavy.
Yes, sir.
What pulled you back into, like, knocking you back into your reality? Was it a certain event? Was it a conversation with us? Was it a conversation with friends?
It was a conversation with y'all, and just kind of forcing myself, because I kind of faked that personality for so long. It became habit. It became a habit.
Really?
It
so
became
you almost
second nature.
You almost put that fake persona on when you got dressed in the morning.
Exactly.
It was a part of your outfit.
Exactly.
So as soon as you left the house, you became someone else?
As soon as I walk into that building.
And you really felt like...
I had to.
Because it was a defense mechanism?
Only way I could do it.
That's unfortunate, man. So, what made you feel like... Because I'm sure there came a time where you felt like you went too far with being...
Many times.
Out of your character. Can you give us some examples on some things that really made you like look at yourself like, what am I doing? Why did I do that?
Every time, because I was new to acting that way. This is around 6th grade when it first started to really take place.
Yeah.
I used to go too far. They would say something about me because like I used to get bullied about being short.
Right.
That was the biggest one.
Right.
So I would clap back, and then they would get silent, then I would keep going. I didn't know how to stop. And then part of me, it felt good, but then the other part of me was like, it got the good part of me got quiet. Wow. It was a quieter voice. It was like, yo, bro, you got to stop.
Yeah.
I didn't listen, though. And then afterwards, I felt bad. It was always after the fact, though.
Yeah. So they kind of, it was a part of you that kind of enjoyed being the guy doing the bullying versus getting bullied?
I didn't enjoy bullying them at all. I didn't enjoy hurting them at any point. The only part of it that I enjoyed was them stopping. That temporary moment where they stopped bullying me and they knew how it felt.
And really your goal was just for them to understand.
Stop. Not even just to understand, but to stop.
That's all that mattered in that moment.
Yes.
And so practicing that for so long changed you, huh?
Absolutely.
Man, how many kids you think is dealing with this?
Most of them. That's why there's so many. I'm just blessed enough to be aware of it and be able to come out of it. But most of them.
Really?
Yes.
So you think a lot of kids your age are just going to school pretending?
Absolutely.
Because they
if
really
not all of them.
Wow. Because they just really want to fit in.
Absolutely.
And this crosses race? Like this is a cross?
No question.
It's
just different ways.
It's carried out differently, but the same.
Absolutely.
How does this affect your mental health?
Horribly. I would even say I was depressed.
You want to talk through that? Talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it destroyed me.
Really?
It completely destroyed me. I wasn't happy. I hated myself. I hated others. I was mad at myself. What was crazy though, I would blame myself more than I blamed others.
How does that look? Give me, what do you mean?
Because it was like, you knew this was going to happen. Like, you knew that you being such a good person wasn't going to exactly affect others the best way or rub others the best way. And yet you still chose to give up and give into the easy way out and become just like them. So for a long time, that's the reality I dealt with, or the way I felt about myself. And it's just it's a hole that you go deeper and deeper into.
Okay.
And I felt like nobody could understand me.
Yeah.
At all.
Because you kind of kept it from us, me and your mom, for a while.
Years.
Did it ever bring you to the point where you felt like you wanted to hurt yourself?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. The only reason why I didn't hurt myself is for y'all. The only thing that ever stopped me from hurting myself is because I knew other people needed me.
You think your purpose is far greater?
Correct. That's why I'm still here.
It got that bad, son?
Yes. Only made it worse. This is before only made it worse.
Wow.
So I would have an attitude a lot of the times. I would just really be in a horrible mood. I lost sleep. I wouldn't go to sleep. I still struggle with that. But a lot of times, it was really just, I was mad at myself. And it would really just reflect on others. But, yeah.
So you think now, first of all, bro, I just want to applaud you for being willing to discuss this in a public setting for others to hear. And I know how it has impacted you. I know the work you've done. I know the character that you are. And so I know the toll that it takes on anyone trying to be the light in a dark place. And it almost feels like you're literally alone, in the world alone, which is very, very scary. And tiresome. It takes your energy. It takes your desire to want to talk, want to participate, want to eat and sleep. And a lot of people don't fully understand, because I believe me and you share that energy, where we believe that our contribution to the world is according to God's will. And so oftentimes when we're called to do something, we're the sacrificial lamb that most people take pride in trying to destroy because they do not understand what they do. And it sounds like that's what you're dealing with at a far younger age than I did. I never really dealt with the bullying thing, but I did deal with the pressure of fitting in. But you're so much more further along in understanding what you're here for than I was. And I think it's because of God's calling on my life and the work that I've done prior to you coming into the world helps you to see your path clearer.
Yes, sir.
But it also, I guess, also applied more pressure to you because you understood so much earlier.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's important that you understand, I think you've got a better concept of it now, that we're called to be the light in the world, but we're not called to see it through. And what I mean by that is you're just called to do what it is God would have you to do according to his will for your life. I think oftentimes what me and you suffer with is trying to make sure everyone gets it. And that's not what he's calling us to do.
Yes, sir.
And so it's going to be important that you garner yourself and protect yourself from, the pressures of society, the pressures of perception. And really, never forget that they know not what they do. Right?
Yes, sir.
It's kind of crazy to be a part of a society where the student is actually showing up being a student and they're the ones laughed at. Right?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of crazy.
The fact that I'm getting laughed at and bullied for doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. It's an insane concept.
Yeah.
But what I've learned to do is not sit in the idea of wondering why or what drives them to do what they do, and just come to terms with accepting the fact that we're all at different parts of a journey.
Yes, sir.
And along that journey, you might not know all the answers, so you might do things that you don't know are wrong.
Absolutely.
So I don't judge them for it, because I've been there too.
Yeah.
Where I've done things that I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Simply because I didn't understand.
That's right.
So I never judge them for doing that.
That's right,
I completely understand.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this experience for you. Because it's preparing you for the world, and it's preparing you like I teach you guys all the time. It's just I try to say be more curious and less judgmental. Try to remove judgment from the picture completely, so that you can find God, seek truth in understanding. But then it comes a time when, because people like me and you want understanding so bad, sometimes there's no answer that will satisfy us for why people are doing things to us. It's not, whatever they say is not going to satisfy us. So certain things we just have to, like you said, accept that they're on a different path, or they're at a different place on a journey than we are. So it's probably best to just get out of their way.
Yes, sir.
Right? Do what we're called to do, speak truth, seek truth, and share our experiences with others. And then just kind of let the chips fall where they may. So did you find that you trying to hold on and make sure someone got the message was detrimental to you? You've experienced it a lot.
That was definitely devastating too. That was a big part of it as well, because a lot of the times when I went through that stage in my life of trying to fit in, when I met people who I saw a slight piece of good in, I always automatically thought they were like me. And when I tried to reach that part of them that I thought was there, it would only get me hurt again. Because it was never really there. I was just hoping it was there.
Yeah. So when you say we thought they were, like you, I hear that you're trying to grasp and find somewhere to fit in, some people that are like you,
exactly,
so that you don't have to walk this thing alone.
I wasn't even looking for that. I was looking to help others.
Yeah.
When I couldn't help myself.
Okay.
Because I knew it felt like, it's like being inside of a maze that you know you're not going to get out of. So instead of trying to like work, because I thought all hope was lost for me. So I was just trying to help others. I was like, if I can't help myself, I might as well help somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, thank God you came up out of that storm.
Yeah, me too.
So, what are the things you can tell a young 6th, 7th, 8th grader now? Give them some pointers on what you would have done differently, having gone through it and, coming out of it on this end, entering your freshman year in high school. What's some pointers you would give a young man, a young lady that are going through these issues of fitting in?
Yes, sir.
How would you have? What advice would you give them?
Honestly, I would just say like the same thing that you told me. Like, just be okay with being yourself. I know it's really hard and you're going to go through a lot, but I promise you, if I had just been myself, I would have been so much better off.
Yeah.
But if you can, just push yourself out of here. It's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to hurt, but you have to. It's better to do it sooner than later. Because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. Because if you're going to be like me, then you're going to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to find yourself. That's not an easy thing to do.
Right.
And that's a frustrating thing to do.
Yeah.
So just try to be yourself. Take the right steps. Don't ever stoop down to the level of the people that hurt you. Make sure you stay above and continue to rise up and do the right thing, no matter how hard it gets. No matter like what they're putting you through, you just gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
And never, ever give up. Ever.
Yeah.
Find whatever reason you can, do whatever you gotta do, but don't give up.
How important would it be for them to find someone, an adult, to communicate this through?
Facts. You're not alone. Find somebody to communicate to. Trust me, you're not the only one.
And a lot of times you didn't think we would understand until you actually came to us and talked to us.
You don't know if you don't try. So that's definitely something y'all people should do.
So give them on some advice if they're blessed enough to have a 2-parent household or 1-parent household. What advice would you give them on incorporating their parents along this journey?
Just be completely transparent, completely honest. Don't keep anything from your parents, because then that'll build a barrier of a lack of trust, and that's something you don't want. Just be honest. I promise they can help you in some way. Even if they don't understand, maybe just a new perspective can help.
Yeah.
So just try to be honest with your parents. Allow them to speak to you. Don't let what they say go into one ear and just come out the other. Listen to them, no matter how it's coming towards you or how they're saying it. Just make sure you listen.
Yeah.
And acknowledge it.
Great advice, my man.
And if not, if you don't have parents, teachers.
Yeah.
Administrators.
Guidance counselors.
Staff.
Yeah.
All of them. Counselors. Talk to who you can.
Right.
Find the God in everybody.
Find the God in everybody.
Doesn't just have to be your parents.
That's right, man. Yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
Yeah. Yeah. Seek it.
Facts. And don't be ashamed of it. It's going to happen. If there's one thing I've thought about myself, as a kid, I always thought it was going to be perfect. Nothing was going to go wrong. I was going to be some great guy without any problems.
Right. Like
no
TV.
issues. Exactly. It's okay. It's a part of life. You just got to acknowledge it, be okay with it. And don't be ashamed about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing you have to acknowledge to go on the path to healing.
Acknowledge it.
Exactly. And be okay with it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And then you can move on to healing.
That's good, son.
Yeah.
Because inevitably God's will be done.
Absolutely.
He allowed it. So what is this for? Why
what am I learning from this?
Yeah.
That's how I always look at problems now.
Yeah. I love that. I love what you said, man. I love how you chose to attack it. eventually, right? When you did, and I think one of the things you learned is when you thought you were fighting and suffering, you weren't fighting at all.
You were just
You're just fighting within, like within your own self.
Exactly.
But when you started sharing with us and bringing us into it and helping us guide you and direct you and seeking God for understanding and truth and healing, that's when you began fighting, right?
Yes, sir.
And because of that, you were able to conquer that thing and like I believe on your way out and on to the next challenge, right?
Yes, sir.
Along that bullying path, I want to make sure we pinpoint something. I think one thing we chose to do as a family and you chose to do as an individual to help you along that path that I want you to talk about is you desired the opportunity to learn self-defense.
Yes, sir.
Right, with Taekwondo, and became really good at it. How did that outlet, that physical expression of learning how to protect yourself, how did that help you, if at all?
Eventually, it taught me a lot, but at first, it never really took away the fear.
Okay, explain.
Knowing how to fight and actually fighting are two completely different things.
Absolutely.
Like having the experience of being in a fight and knowing how to fight won't affect you in the same ways. I knew how to fight. The only difference is between me and normal kids is I didn't want to take action on it. Like at all. I didn't want to have to use it.
Explain.
So because of that, I didn't want to use it because I didn't want to have to hurt anybody. I never did want to have to hurt anybody. And what you guys taught me, as in my parents, is that sometimes you have to hurt somebody. But what you also taught me is that doing that will teach somebody sometimes. And what I wanted to do is teach people and help them understand. So eventually I came to understand and be okay with the fact that it's okay to have to hurt somebody. Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, when you're defending yourself.
Exactly. So I came to terms with that, and that definitely helped me in the journey of my self-defense. But over time, I fell in love with it because it taught me more than just how to do something and hurt somebody and put physical abuse on somebody.
Yeah.
It taught me mentality. It taught me discipline. It taught me understanding your level of power and picking your fights wisely.
Amen.
So the last thing I ever want to have to do is hurt somebody. But if I do, it will be for a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. That taught you a lot.
Absolutely.
And you know, for the fathers out there who have a son, you know, like me, you know, and who's going through things like you were going through, because one of the things that I had to deal with, and I think I talked to you about this. I know I talked to mommy about it. Is that, you know, I'm from the hood, but my children aren't from the hood. Right? I worked hard, your mother and I, to put y'all in middle class, upper middle class America to give y'all a fair opportunity in life. And it always bothered me that trouble still found you guys, you know? And one thing I had to get over is my hood mentality. You know, like when you were first getting bullied or, you know, picked on because of your height, you know, what I had to face is that I still had a lot of hood in me when I was just like, all right, handle your business. Like, you know, like I was overly emotional. And my first, although I'm called to love and be the light of the world and try to rise to the higher state of consciousness and all these things, that's my desire. But it doesn't negate what's already inside of me. So I had to, I had to fight with the things within me that wanted to just tell you to go beat the ass, right?
Yes, sir.
And because as a father, man, you want your children to be prepared for the world. And I knew that the kind of kid you are, man, you're such a loving kid. And I'm just like, dang, like,
It's
I
hard
would
to
have
push me
loved.
to that point.
Yeah, it's like I would have loved to have a friend like you when I was growing up. Like, why I don't get why they don't see you. And I just I just wanted you to be able to protect yourself and for people to leave you alone. And the way where I'm from, the fastest way for people to leave you alone is like to put hands on them and like let them know like anytime you approach me, win, lose or draw, it's gonna be a fight,
Yes, sir.
right? And so I had to, and you remember that,
Yeah.
I had to come to grips with myself on like, yo, like that ain't the best advice to give your son. He's not from the same world, bro. You're gonna create a monster, and you won't be able to put him back in the cage because I've witnessed your experience and your trajectory in Taekwondo, and I know what you can do to someone. Like physically, I know the type of pain you can apply. So when the bullying first like kind of like progressed, and I was like, all right, we're preparing you to handle your business and take care of yourself. And what I had to realize is that you don't want to hurt nobody. You really just want to love, bro.
Exactly.
You want to help. You want to prepare. You want to be a friend, not an enemy. And I had to accept that and see the power in that. So I know there's a lot of brothers my age with children your age that are teaching their children to just fight. And I'm here to tell y'all that's not where the power lies. And you taught me that. You taught your father that your character will always outweigh your strength, your physical ability to destroy another human being in physical contact. You chose not to hurt these kids when they even attempted to hurt you
physically and
yeah. You chose to talk. You chose to mediate. You chose to try to
no matter what,
deflect.
I made sure I would never. That I made sure no. If there's one thing I always worked on the hardest, I made sure that's not my first reaction or my first thing to go to.
Yeah.
Because as a kid that grew up with a lot of anger issues on top of all that stress of trying to fit in at a really young age, I wanted to make sure I never get pushed to that point. Because with such strong emotions, there's no telling what you
that could be dangerous.
Especially with those abilities. So I've worked really hard to make sure I don't get pushed to that point, no matter what they do.
Yeah. That's power, bro. The power is in walking away.
Correct. That's what I've come to learn.
Yeah. Controlling your tongue, controlling your emotions.
Facts.
And that's what I realized, even as I got older. Most of the times, when I found myself in altercations as a young man, even my cultural upbringing, most of us was just very emotional. It's really not even being tough. A lot of us just don't know how to control our emotions.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I have the ability to effectively articulate and communicate like what I'm trying to express. A lot of people don't.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so, like, all the fathers out there, man, listen to your sons. Don't project your experiences on them and expect them to perform the way you would have 30, 40 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Right? Allow them to grow up and become the young men that you've prepared them to be, and take the good out of the situation. Allow them to build their character on that. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely.
So how do you think God got the glory out of this whole experience for you?
I think as a kid, growing up with that perfect idea of thinking I'm always going to be this perfect dude, everything's going to work out, I'm going to be making money, I'm going to be a really good dude. I always thought people reacting to me the way they did wouldn't affect me. That it would just bounce off of me like I'm Superman or something like that. But growing up and coming into starting to go into the real world, going through all of this hardship, I prefer that I did than I don't, because it makes me who I am. And allows me to help people that I wouldn't have been able to reach
Okay.
if I was invulnerable to
Yeah.
those scenarios.
Yeah.
So I definitely prefer going through it and feeling it rather than not.
Because now you're prepared to actually help more people.
Absolutely.
Because you went through it.
Exactly. If I had to do it a lot more times, I would have. Knowing that I can help so many more now because I went through the same thing they did.
That's big, bro. That's big to say. Your display of character through this situation has been remarkable. I'm proud as a father to call you my son. I'm proud as a father to watch your development, your growth in this area, and then just try to help you find your way through and navigate this whole life experience. So, what are some other things that are burdening you or that's on your mind that you need some advice on, or that you think other kids your age might need some advice on, that we can play out on the podcast here and try to help and motivate?
Well, one thing is sexual immorality for boys specifically. Not saying that girls go through it, but boys specifically.
It's a big one.
But before we jump into that one, I
Yeah.
got one more that I need some guidance on
Yeah.
that I'm struggling with right now. After getting out of that stage of going through so much and switching up who I am as a person and trying to figure out who I am again.
Yeah.
Now that I've figured out who I am again, I'm scared to do the things, because when I was in that place, I worked hard. I wasn't so emotional in the right ways. I was tougher. I felt like I was more of a man. But in this stage, I want to do certain things that I did at that time, but I'm scared I don't want to go back. So I'm almost in like a frozen place. I'm being lazy. I'm just playing the game. I'm not working as hard. So I'm trying to figure out how to attack that without losing myself again. Because I know I probably won't, but it's the idea of it. I'm trying to find the balance in between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. First thing I think is important for you to do is relax. Breathe. And do not center yourself around fear. And what I mean by that is, don't automatically be afraid of reverting back to a character that you don't want to be. Don't look at it as something so bad that you'll hate yourself for doing it. That's hard for people to wrap their minds around, because you're like, but that's like, when I did that, it made me my worst self. It made me become something I don't want to become. It made me lose my character. It made you who you are today. If you remove those experiences from your life, who are you today?
Not the same.
Not the same, right? We just got off of saying how effective you can be and you are because of what you've been through. So even the thought of going back, don't place it in the place of fear. Place it in the place of awareness and curiosity. And say to yourself, why am I having these thoughts of reverting back to acting out of my character? What's going on within me that's making me think about this? With no judgment. You're just asking the question. And then when you start peeling back the layers, you'll realize it's probably because I'm going too far in the future. And I'm already predicting what's going to happen in high school before I even get there.
Yes, sir.
I'm already predicting and manifesting within myself the way these kids are going to be just like I experienced in 8th grade or worse. And when you do these things, you don't leave room for the possibilities in yourself of it being an amazing experience, of being everything you want it to be, of being everything you desire it for it to be, or even the idea of you walking into your high school experience having received the fruit from your labor. What if all the work you've done prior to this point laid the foundation for your freshman year to be amazing? What if the energy of you not conforming to being someone not like yourself, but to conforming to your higher self, finally realizing that it's not who you want to be and you want to be better and you've done better, you've done the work. What if that laid the foundation for you to meet the people that is going to help elevate you and propel you to your next level of existence? Right?
Yes, sir.
I try to look at life optimistically, not pessimistically. Right? Try to leave room for God to be God. Right? And so oftentimes we manifest and create false realities because we believe it so much within that we create it in the physical world and we walk right into it. Right?
Yes, sir.
And so be careful with the fear, be careful with the judgment, and be careful with manifesting your worst fears.
Yes, sir.
I hope that helps.
It does.
That's how I would attack that. The reality is you've done the work. You are a new person. You are a better person because of what you've been through.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe your desire is to repeat that. Right?
Yes, sir.
So then let's build upon that foundation and put the building blocks that's going to take you to the next phase of your existence.
Yes, sir.
Right? What did you identify the problem was, right? How now do you identify better friends? How now do you identify people who are similar to you or in a place you would like to be, right? Center yourself around people who are better communicators, smarter, more in touch with their emotions, right? Don't follow the crowd, right? These experiences you've had prior to high school all prepared you for where it is you say you want to go and who you want to be.
Yes, sir.
Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So what was it you wanted to talk about next?
Sexual immorality.
Ooh, sexual immorality.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one. But a very realistic one, very
because we're not here to just beat around the bush. We're here to be honest and help people.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, let's dive in, bro. So when you say sexual immorality, you struggle with sexual immorality. Let's be real. Let's be authentic. Let's be used, bro. Tell me what's going on and ask me how I can help you. Or let's see how God shows up.
When I say I struggle with sexual immorality, I mean not necessarily as looking at women at a certain type of way. I mean I struggle with like masturbation.
Okay.
And it's almost like an addiction of it. And I know why I got into it. I use it as comfort. When girls did me a certain type of way or treated me a certain type of way. Because I definitely grew up with a lot of not necessarily good girl experiences either.
Okay.
But for a long time, I used it as comfort because it gave me a feeling. And over time, and it was crazy was I hated myself for feeling that way. It's weird.
Describe the feeling that you hated. Describe the feeling that it gave you, and then describe the feeling that made you hate it. To your best of your ability.
Ejaculating made me feel good.
Okay. The physical. Okay.
Exactly. The physical appeal of it felt good, but afterwards, the mental strain and toll that it took on me, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel. I felt like a shell of myself.
Okay.
It made me nauseous. I wasn't operating the same, and I had really bad mood.
Yep. Made you lazy.
Extremely lazy. It had a negative toll on how I saw myself, how I felt about myself, how I felt about the way I was dealing with that. I feel like what it rooted from is insecurity.
Okay.
And how I thought women saw me, how girls saw me and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I'm still trying to deal with it today. So instead of attacking the actual action itself, I'm trying to attack the root of it.
Okay.
In the hopes that that'll stop it.
Okay.
Because I've noticed that the more you do it, and as you go on, and the more consistent you become with it, it starts to affect your everyday life.
Absolutely.
You'll look at women differently, even when you're not even trying to look at them that way. It all roots from that at one action.
Do you remember how it started?
Yeah, a kid. I had just got. It was like the end of 6th grade.
Mm-hmm. You don't say the school name or the kid.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Dude that told me it makes you more of a man to do it. It makes you more manly. And at the time, I also struggled with thinking that I wasn't that much of a man. Too weak, too emotional, not tough enough. So then one day I did it. And then over time, it became an addiction.
Okay.
And I never really understood why fully.
Why what?
Why I did it.
Okay.
Or why I couldn't resist it.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you got a lot of layers to peel back, man. I love your transparency. God, boy, you're so much like me. You do realize that most 14-year-olds would never come out and say that to their parents, not less to the world. And it makes me emotional, bro, how transparent you are for the sake of others, for the sake of yourself. You are who you say you are, man. And you're trying to be the light of the world, so I applaud you for that. Everyone's looking for a savior. Not many are running to be someone else's savior. And so I thank you for that, man. And I hope that this conversation really helps people, and the sacrifice you make
Me too.
by being vulnerable does not go in vain, and it won't, because God honors those who are willing to be sacrificial for the sake of others. Let's peel back the layers, son. First of all, you are not alone. I have dealt with sexual immorality for decades. I don't even remember when I first encountered sexual immorality. Most men I know either is or have dealt with sexual immorality. It's one of those things that seems unavoidable, it seems, right? And I'm not even going to begin to act like I have all the answers, because I still struggle with it. But I have enough experience to help guide you where you currently are. And if you can apply what I'm about to tell you into your everyday life at 14, it can help you avoid and escape it altogether in the future. Okay, so that's what my goal is going forward, right, in this conversation. So someone introduced it to you, and what they'd said to you was, "This makes you feel more like a man." What was it?
It makes you more of a man.
Makes you more of a man, because being able to watch, I'm assuming, pornography of some sort, right? And then expressing yourself physically through masturbation will help you become more of a man. Oddly, a lot of young men think that's true. Oddly, a lot of men still go by that, right? But here's the truth of the reality based on my experience. You know, you ever heard the term or the saying, like, what's the one thing you would change in life if you can go back in time?
Yeah.
Whenever I'm asked that question, I immediately go to becoming a virgin all over again. And a lot of people are like, of all the things in the world, that's what you would do? And I'm like, yeah, because you don't understand the toll that it took on my life when I was first introduced to sexual immorality. Ever since I entered that gate, it's been hell on my life. Like, I've never paid the bill. It's a constant thing, and it requires more and more and more from you, right? And what you'll learn, if you haven't learned yet, with having a sexual addiction, is that the physical body can never be satisfied.
No, that's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
It's like a fire that you keep feeding and feeding, but it never goes out.
Never goes out, bro. You can masturbate 2 to 3, 4 times a day,
and it won't do anything.
And it won't satisfy what it is you're trying to crave or satisfy. So what does that mean? My experience has taught me that I've yet to identify what the craving is I'm trying to reach. I understand that there's a physiological, there's a biological purpose behind sex and having sex and being horny and with you having these certain hormones pop up at 14. It's a lot going on with your body, right? And so you're facing things within yourself that are new to you, and it's just like, what do you do with this energy? And so a lot of times, you might be going through wet dreams and stuff like that, or desiring to have a girlfriend, or desiring a kiss, or to be. So a lot of things are awakening in your life. And so the problem is that without proper knowledge, you're going to awaken to something that's natural, and you're going to carry it out in an immoral way that's going to make you a victim to your own demise, right? Versus attacking it from a place of honesty, right? So if you would have came home and shared that with me, because I make it open for you to always share things and talk. We could talk about anything. Now, if you would have came home, and let's just objectively look at this. If you would have came home and expressed that you're having issues in this area of your life, we could have peeled back the layers and kind of jumped on it before it got to. But what a lot of young men do, they get exposed to it early, and they're so ashamed that they keep it a secret. So that's the first thing. When you come across the desire to masturbate or watch things that are not good for your psyche, it's going to take you down a path of destruction. Share it with someone you love and respect immediately, and allow them to hold you accountable and help you get out of that before you enter it, right? So that's the one thing I would advise others to do that you did not do, right? The other thing I would do is when you're I've heard you mention you had some bad experiences with young ladies, and it caused you to I think you would say self-esteem issues. Is that what you said? Something along those lines?
That too. I said comfort.
Comfort?
Yeah, I used it as comfort.
Right. So I think a lot of times young men your age don't know where to put those desires that are naturally coming. Right? They're naturally coming to you. The thoughts, the dreams, the body's changing. And so I guess it's natural to feel ashamed to talk about it, but that's why you have a father.
Correct.
It's like, so you got to get past the uncomfortableness of having the conversation, because your father went through it too.
Yes.
And I pray that these fathers that are listening are like comfortable and open enough that their sons can come to them, and they we can jump on these conversations early, because it was always strange to me, because, and I know you're my son, but you're a handsome young man. So when you came to me and you said you had problems with, like, you didn't think girls liked you like that, or they didn't give you the energy back that you thought you were giving out, and if you found yourself feeling lonely in the area of dating, such in such an early age and early in this experience, that's really normal. But for whatever reason, most people go within and they beat themselves up about the way other people perceive them. And like I taught you, you can't you can't control how other people perceive you. You can only be you. So if you present your best self forward and young ladies don't see you for who you are, one or two things are true in my opinion. They're not equipped to recognize your character, or they're not for you. So you don't internalize their perception of you and make you hate yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's layers of things that will cause you to lean into things that's going to make you hate yourself. And all this stuff directly leads into, being promiscuous, sexual immorality, and stuff like that. Spiritually, you open up a window that you can't close, which is why I believe scripture speaks of like abstaining from sex or sexual immorality until marriage, or preserving that part of your body, your mind, for your wife, the one woman that you should be with. And oftentimes when we do that out of order, we open ourselves up to a world that we're oftentimes not ready for. And it takes you down a path of losing yourself, similar to what you did in trying to adapt to being someone like you weren't, right?
And along with that, it was in a part of going through that journey was using this as a coping method as well.
Yep. That's what it turns to.
Absolutely. And what I would recommend, no matter how embarrassed you are, the sooner you push towards like just telling somebody about it, the sooner it'll be over.
Yeah.
It'll be uncomfortable, it'll be embarrassing. So what? It's not about how it feels. It's about being done with it.
Yeah.
And abandoning that part of you.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend, because it's not something that you can conquer by yourself. That's something I had to learn.
Yes.
Because if there's one thing I never wanted to be to y'all, it's as in my parents, it's a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, I saw that as like the worst thing I could possibly do at the time. So it used to eat me up inside, having to try to like solve it on my own and like not be open about it.
Yeah. You'll never solve it on your own.
Ever.
God's design is for us not to solve it on our own, oftentimes, right? Even if you find the answers or the truth within, you're going to need accountability, right? You're going to need people to hold you accountable that love you. You're going to need a mature mindset that will help you not give in to your own sexual immorality. You're going to need someone who's, spiritually conscious enough that they can guide you and lead you in the right direction. And someone who's like not so judgmental that they will have you to feel so bad about yourself for expressing something that's worldly considered normal. Right? And so I hope I took that approach with you and made you feel like, well, no, bro, this is not the worst thing in the world. We can get in front of this and help you and fix this, right?
Yes,
so, and we'll be transparent, and we put certain blocks on our what do you call it, the Wi-Fi, mommy.
Devices and all of that.
Yeah, on our devices, and that's for you and me.
Yes, sir.
Right? To protect ourselves from ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Because you want to, the truth sets you free, right? It will make you free. So just be honest and transparent, young men out there. Anyone who's dealing with this, share that truth with someone who loves you, someone who's mature enough to handle the conversation and who can guide you spiritually. Because this truly is a spiritual battle. Like sexual immorality is a spiritual battle. Truth be told, the man itself could just, sex, right? Masturbation, like you just want to fulfill a sexual urge. But what you'll find is, like you said earlier, like,
There's no end.
There's no end to it, bro. Like you're going to hurt yourself.
Correct.
Right? You could masturbate to a point of pain and don't even understand why you're doing it. Well, because you're not truly looking at why you're masturbating. And that's another layer I want to peel back, like for you and for me. Like, why is it, or why are we doing it? Like, I never looked at myself as struggling with feeling like I'm not accepted by women, even in my earlier life or even with my wife. So it's not that I don't feel desired. I don't feel that I don't know what I'm trying to get rid of. I don't know what I'm chasing.
And that makes it so much harder to figure out how to stop it.
It does. Like, what am I coping with? Like, what am I coping with? I guess sometimes I found myself masturbating and trying to cope with my reality. Because I'm not a drug user. I drink every now and then. So what I've noticed is if you don't get in front of it, you'll find yourself masturbating to cope with stress. Right?
I think that's what it's become for me.
Yeah, I think that's what it becomes for a lot of people. It becomes a stress reliever. At least that's what you tell yourself.
Correct.
Right? But a true stress reliever is the understanding of what's causing the stress.
Facts. What masturbation is, if you think it's a stress reliever, it's like drinking salt water when you're dehydrated. It'll solve the problem temporarily, but then it's gonna cause you to fall into a loop. And the only way you can break that loop is if you do something that's gonna be hard. And the hardest part about that is resisting that urge. And what I found is that in order to resist that urge, you don't fight it, you run away from it. What stress relievers are, temporary stress relievers, are built to distract you from your problems, not solve them.
Right.
So what I've learned is, instead of masturbation, working. When I was in that period in my life, I used work as a distraction. I would work hard. I would be up late.
So for a 14-year-old, give them an idea on what work you're referring to and how.
As in, like, hop on the computer, do some math, homework, whatever, study.
Build a project.
Exactly. I did something passionate. Like, I'm passionate about 3D modeling and coding and stuff like that. So I did that. Or watch TV, hop on the game. And one thing I want you to do most is stay out of the place where it happens. Stay away from that place.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you can't fight it for that much longer.
Yeah, you hit a couple of things that I want to piggyback on because it was very important. Finding healthy habits to replace those coping mechanisms that lead you to sexual immorality. One thing Mommy and I did was invest into a computer, right? Not for porn, but for you to be productive in your coding and your game development and your learning and contribution to AI, right? And to find structured, disciplined ways to eat up your time, right? Not having an idle mind, not just being there with nothing to do, because that leads you to finding ways to quench thirst.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so that's going to be important, not just to turn away from sexual immorality, but turn towards or replace it with something constructive.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's going to benefit your life, where you can see some immediate impact. Right?
Yes, sir.
Another thing that we've done for you, and you've been open and we're working through together, is accountability. So after a certain time during the day, you bring your mobile device into our room.
Correct.
And we hold it for you, right? And make sure you don't have access to that, right?
Correct.
And we also put blocks and things like that on the computer to help you help yourself. And we worked through it. I gave you some spiritual balance on how to try to identify what your purpose is in life. Have conversations with the Most High God and kind of see and make sure you're being utilized in the proper way. Because oftentimes what I used to do is to beat myself to death mentally because I was suffering with it. Well, that's not helpful.
Yeah, me too.
Right? It's too much judgment. You won't find relief in that area.
If you don't move that out of the way, the loop is going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
If you don't move that judgment and that self-hate out of the way, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's gonna cause anger, self-hate. It could lead to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So eventually I learned to remove. I feel like with each, I think for a long time I did beat it because I used this one method. It's like this idea where if you think about it like, I'm not gonna do it, then you're gonna do it.
Yep.
Because it's in your brain so much.
Correct.
So I replaced it by thinking about other things and doing a bunch of other stuff. And for a while it was working, but then it hit me harder than it ever did before.
Yeah.
That's when you really gotta fight.
And have accountability.
Exactly.
Others who are helping you fight.
Facts. I've went from, if I'm being completely transparent,
Please.
I went from consistency of day to day. So I've made progress in where I used to do it just every single day, to breaking it. And then if I break it for a long period of time and I fall back into it, it would take me a long time to get back to that breaking point. But I've done it. And then breaking out, I've stayed out of doing it, and then I'll fall, but then I'll get right back up.
Yeah.
I won't just stay falling for a long time. I'll just get right back up. And I found a way, if you maintain a streak, the longest I made it is like 2 months. I'm trying to just do it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So my first target, a week. If I can do that, I can do a month.
Yep.
If I can do a month, I can do a year. If I can do a year, I can do 10 years. If I can do 10 years, I can do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just working towards each small goal.
Yeah.
And I'm making progress.
I love it.
But one thing that is a key factor that we don't pay a lot of attention to, that really slides under the surface, everything on social media, on digital, internet, everything is sexualized.
Yes.
Even in person, everything is sexualized.
Yes, it is.
So you really have to train your brain and go offline a lot. Because everything is sexualized.
Yes, I totally agree. I deal with that. Men all over the world deal with that. Young men your age deal with that. Men are not overly as sexualized as women are. Women are like habitually overly sexualized, and it makes it that much worse. But I would say one little thing I did to help myself in this area was, what I did in the area of social media was I began training, because
Dopamine.
algorithm monitors how you respond and what you look at. So what I did was, I'm in the process of training my algorithm to only send me content that benefits me.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, and that helps a lot. Like, you can't really control what's on the outside world, like in the real world. But on social media, there's a way to train it. Like, constantly try to learn about things that's going to help you.
Exactly.
When you see it, skip past it or select. I'm not interested in this material.
Exactly.
Depending on what platform you're on, but then train it.
That's what I did with TikTok. Like, the only social media that I really ever had, thankfully, to do to my parents, is TikTok. And when I had TikTok, it's one of the most sexualized social media apps ever.
Yeah.
But what I did was I worked and I trained my algorithm. David Goggins, motivation, waking up at 6 a.m.
Yep.
Quitting masturbation, pornography, all of that. That was on my For You page. And when it did pop up, I would scroll past it as fast as possible. Because the flesh, as we would say, wants to stay, but in situations like that, I would be able to fight it.
Yeah.
What I've learned is that through all of this progress that I've made, I've gotten a stronger fight.
Yeah.
Because I made that quiet voice louder than the one that was so loud.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to fight.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I scroll past it as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I see it somewhere else, I just avoid it. And in some situations, I acknowledge it and then I fight it more as almost like a training mechanism.
Okay.
In a situation where I know I can't take any action on it, I'll acknowledge it and then I'll fight against that urge to even think about it, and then I'll move it out of the way, and then I'll be good. I use that as a way of training.
Okay.
So what I would recommend is, in situations like in public, fight against that. Don't even let the thought kick in.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge it and let that thought kick in, I want you to try to fight against that thought. That helps to build that discipline of resisting it. It'll become natural.
Absolutely. And one thing along this journey of fighting or going through and beating sexual immorality is, please remove the judgment. Like, have love for yourself. Have mercy on yourself. Have grace on yourself. And know that God does not want to destroy you because of this. But God wants you to try to understand the issues at hand and try to move towards the light and stay out of the darkness. At night, don't sit there idle. Go to sleep. That's another thing that will help you.
Please.
Have a predetermined time that you're going to go to sleep and get you some rest. And that will shut down your mind of wandering and then being introduced to those thoughts.
Facts.
But son, look, man, I want to thank you. You know, as always, when we record these podcasts, we trust that the Most High God will place it in the areas or with the people that need it and those who are seeking to see it, hear it, and understand it, and that God will get the glory from our lives for that. But, you know, being 14 years old, man, and having the heart for people the way you do, and having the heart to, you know, chase after God and to please God and allow him to use you. Man, I'm telling you, bro, it almost brings tears to my eyes that you're my son. And I'm super proud of you, bro. I want you to continue to fight. I want you to continue to grow and tackle life with enthusiasm. Be optimistic, be happy, and be fearful. I mean, not fearful, fearless. Be fearless, man, in your efforts to pursue God's will for your life. And I want you to kind of like leave a message, a short message for the young man that's entering high school. Build them up.
Yes, sir.
Talk to these young brothers. Tell them before we sign off something you want to share.
If I gotta say one last thing, I would just say, like, do what I did today. It doesn't have to be as grand. You don't have to get on a podcast or get on some sort of form of media. Just speak your voice and be content with who you are as a person. And no matter who it is, I don't care if it's your parents.
Right.
Don't let them take that away from you. It doesn't matter who it is. Be content with who you are and do the right thing. Let God speak through you. Follow his will for you. Do what he wants you to do while you're here. Because if you keep just doing what's not supposed to be done, it's going to blow by you and the opportunity is going to pass. So I would just say, just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
No matter who tells you it's the cooler thing to do this, it's a cooler thing to do that. Think for yourself. Don't be a hive mind. That's why we're all different. Think for yourself. Do what you're supposed to do, and just do God's will.
Nice, bro.
That's what I would say.
I appreciate you, man. And as you matriculate through high school, you know, according to what God wants us to do here, you know, we'll have you come back up and talk about some things on the podcast and new events and new challenges and new things that we think the world will benefit from.
Yes, sir. And
allow God to continue to use us. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this has been the podcast for Seekers Only, the Balance Podcast. Signing off with my son. We love you guys, and we trust that God will get the glory from this podcast, and that for all those that are seeking, whatever you're seeking is seeking you.